There are two work streams that are problematic for most companies I've spoken with, and one has to do with ethics, ethical AI, and then some of it has to do with the understanding at its core of what generative AI is. Generative AI crosses a lot of types of machine learning. So some of it has to do with reinforcement learning. Some of it is sequence to sequence language models. There are adversarial networks. So there are different flavors of generative AI. And unfortunately, this has become a buzzword. So when you're choosing a professional to hire, you want to make sure that they are familiar with your flavor of AI. Well, it's interesting. I find two flavors here. You have the person that's very excited. If you look at the curve, they're one of those early innovators. They're not really in that middle section. They just want to go for the most exciting, shiny ball that's out there. And then you have the type of person who's sort of in the middle of the bell curve, and they are a little bit reticent. And they said, well, this seems like a black box. I don't really understand it. What's going on? I understand these labels, but they don't make sense. I want to make sure that I have a unique skill set that will fit their unique problem, right? So I get a lot of inquiries where there's maybe a simple coding aspect to it, and then they have one very complex question. So what I like to do in those cases, and it's not that I can't do the coding, but there's no reason to pay my rate for simple coding, right? So I want my client to be successful. So that's where I say, okay, let's pair up with somebody who's good at programming, and I can guide them on the type of neural network, which layers to use, how we're going to implement this in PyTorch, why you don't want to use this library, why you do want to use that library, and read the papers for them and distill the papers down to information they understand. That's where I'm adding the value. I actually enjoy problems because there's always a solution. So, and my dad used to say this, he still says it. He says, for every problem, there's a solution. And it might not be the first thing that comes to mind. And it might not even be a solution that's exciting. Or it might be something really exciting and we get to publish this and we get to birth something new into the world. But there's always a solution to every problem.